I did reset the pomodoros. We'll do we'll do it again. It's fine. So we have an extra couple pomodoros on top of what we've already done. But I think we'll have a good time here. Okay. Where's the ticker? Oh my gosh, what is happening? Everything is going wrong here today. The ticker text isn't working. And I think I know why. Let me go back to here. Let's just run this. Broadcast monitoring started. Let's there it goes. I think that's better, right? There, it's updated. Okay, whatever. Oh gosh. Streaming is fun, isn't it? Isn't it fun? Okay. Well, now, where were we? So we just finished creating the posts route. So let's go. We'll call this create posts route. Then we'll create navigation next. But we will look at nested layouts there. We'll read that. Since we have a little extra time for today, let's take a look at the status, see what we added, git add src, and we're going to have that there. So git commit, and we'll say create posts router, and that will be learn React with TypeScript page number 181. Okay, well, we're on page 180, whatever, it's fine. Nested layouts and pages. So Next.js uses a file system based routing, meaning you can use folders and files to define routes. This page will guide you through how to create layouts and pages and link between them. So creating a page is a page is user. Well, it's a user interface and is rendered on a specific route. Okay. To create a page, add a page file inside the app directory and default export a React component. For example, to create an index page, export default function page and JSX. You return that stuff. Okay. Creating a layout. A layout is a user interface that is shared between multiple pages. On navigation, layouts preserve state, remain interactive, and do not re-render. You can define a layout by default exporting a React component from a layout file. The component should accept a children prop, which can be a page or another layout. For example, to create a layout that accepts your index page as a child, add a layout file inside the app directory. So this is called a root layout, and so I guess we're going to talk about layouts further over here. So I'm going to put that aside for now. And what we'll do is we'll work on creating the navigation here. So, okay. Next.js has two ways to implement navigation, and we'll cover both in this section. Part of the learning process, we will update the blog posts list to include links to the associated post page. So we can use the link component. So a recommended way to perform navigation in Next.js, carry out the following steps to use this component in the post page. So we are here. Let's close everything that we have so far. And what we'll do is we'll open a page called app posts page. Can I create a file from here? We'll open that page, so we don't need to do anything else. We're going to add the import statement below import posts. We're going to import a link from next link, and we're going to use that in the link, the item, the list item. We'll link to. Looks like this is important. We're using a template or string here. Posts. Post ID. Okay, so you got to use this backticks there. And inside of. Oops. Where are we? There we are. Okay. We're going to use this post title, and we're going to get rid of the span element instead. And we'll nestle that in with the link element. And does this update? Also define the route that the link should go to using the href attribute. Does this update automatically? Let's take a look. Do we get links now? Do we get these as... We do get these as links now. Very handy. Wow, that's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. Okay. Also define the route that the link should go to using the href attribute. The route we have just referenced doesn't exist yet, so let's create it. Inside the posts folder, create a folder named 1. So inside of the posts folder, we're going to make a directory called src posts, src app posts. We're going to create a folder named 1. Okay. We're going to create a page inside of there as well. So we might as well touch that to begin with, and then that will create that. Page.tsx. Oh, can't touch it. Doesn't exist. Okay, we do have to create the directory first. And then we'll touch the file. We'll open that page. And we will export default function post, returning just the main blog post 1. So that implements the posts/1 route, which will satisfy the first blog post list item. We will improve this route later in the chapter so that all blog posts are linked. Run the app if it's not already running. We do have it already running. Now we're going to inspect the blog post using the browser development tools in the post page. Let's go here, see if that loaded. Blog post 1. So we're going to hit F12, bring this up our development tools here. And in our inspector, which is the elements tab in in LibreWolf, you know, corresponding to Elements tab in Chrome. Understanding React hooks. Oh, they want us to go back. They want us to go back to here. They want us to inspect this one. And so we have this ahref understanding post one, understanding React hooks. Okay. So we can see that link component is rendered as an HTML anchor element. Then while still in the browser, well, wait a minute. So it is rendered as an anchor element. Yes, okay. Right. So it builds this list item or this anchor element from specifying it as a link. Why is there, this is modified, this is untouched yet, untracked, okay. Now we're gonna look at the components right there, and oh my gosh, wow, how far down does this go? Context provider. Post server. I don't know why. Oh, you know why? Because they are that far down. They are that far to the right. Okay. Should I search for this? How do I search for it? Find the posts component. Oh, I can click on it on over there, and then it'll show up there. Okay, cool. Gives us a server, something from the server, component coming from the server, so an RSC. Link component, link component, link component. Lots of link components here. Okay, there we go. So the key point is that link can be used in RSCs. Okay, this says forward ref, but it doesn't say that in mine. Why does it not? Why doesn't it? That's a good question, isn't it? Do have an error. Cross-origin request is blocked. Remote resource at Webpack internal app pages. Course request not HTTP. I don't know what any of that means. Same origin policy. Reading the remote resource. If I reload, we still have that problem? I guess so. Okay. Earl K. Hot reload. We can find. Rendered by posts. So they say that they have layout router context right before it. Is there a way to look through here, search through here? Let's look for layout router context provider is here. And then so what's supposedly next to it is that So it's not next to this one. Not next to that one. Not next to that one either. I'm confused about posts. There's just the one of one. It is this thing. That is what it is. It says link component server. I don't know what the difference is. Okay, so we'll click on the first one and it may notice that a full page reload didn't happen instead. Oh, you know what? We need to change that. Okay, let me turn off the auto paste and that stuff. So client-side navigation is performed to maximize performance, so a full page reload didn't happen. So that completes the use of the link component for now. We'll use it again later in this chapter. For more information on the link component, see the following page in the Next.js documentation. Docs app API reference components link. So we'll share that with the chat again. Okay, so there's just link stuff you can do here. I'm gonna bring this out here. Okay, just want that separate. Okay, and then so that's using the link component. So let's add our src folder and we'll commit our changes here to use the link component and learn React with TypeScript page number 1. '83 is where we're leaving off. Okay. Okay. So we're going to use the use router hook next. So the Next.js use router hook allows programmatic navigation. Unlike link, it can't be used in an RSC, so the consuming component must be a client component. So the hook returns an object containing useful routing functions such as the following. Push performs client-side navigation, adding a new entry to the browser history. Replace performs client-side navigation without adding a new entry to the browser history. Okay. I kind of need to take a break. My brain's a little mushy now. We've had a little bit of a long a long focus right here. So I'm going to take an extra long break. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not feeling great today. Just had a little bit of rain fog. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna use router hook. Okay. Which allows programmatic navigation. So with link, it's kind of messy, right? We have to like create each of these files, and that's not fun. That's not fun at all. Each of these folders and that can't be used in an RSC, so consuming component must be a client component. So the hook returns an object containing useful routing functions such as the following. Push performs client-side navigation, adding a new entry to the browser history. Replace performs client-side navigation without adding a new entry to the browser history. Refresh refreshes the current route without losing any state. Okay, so I think this is something that's worth taking a note of. So let's take that note. The following code snippet includes navigation using use router. Import use router from Next navigation. Oh, I turned off whatchamacallit, didn't I? There we go. Okay. I'm a little scattered. A little scatterbrained today. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, using use router. So we're gonna go. All right, we're not creating anything yet. We're just reading this thing. So this includes navigation using use router from Next navigation. You have some component. You're gonna, declare your variables up front here and bring in those. Oh gosh, I keep doing this. Oh, come on. Okay. You have a function to handle the click, and you do some check here. If some check router.push. Now that's interesting. I thought we couldn't use things, or maybe it was the use effect. I think maybe the use effect hook couldn't be used in conditional statements. But I guess the router hook can be. Use router can be. Some check. Router push some path. Router push some other path. Ugh. And then we have some button handling the click. So breakdown of the code snippet. The use router hook is called at the start of the component. Right there. And then assigned to a router variable. So all the routing functions are available in the router variable. Router's push function is called in the button click handler with the path main passed. So there's a call to the function sumCheck to determine the path to navigate to. And there's another link that we can share here. You can take a look at that though. We should save those links. Oh, okay. So that completes this section on navigation. To recap the link component, this is our first recap here. Did we do a recap on the other sections? Did I miss the recaps that were there? Usually it like indicates that there was something going on. Standing routes. Probably not. Okay, so down here, creating header. Okay. All right, so just add this one. Did it work? No, it didn't. Okay. Okay, so creating a shared layout, in this section we'll create a header for our app containing links to the home and pages. We will use the shared layout capabilities of Next.js to implement this. A shared layout is defined in a special file called layout.tsx. Shared layouts can be defined in any route. Our current app has a shared layout at the root path in the src app folder. Following are some of the contents of this file. So export default root layout. Component's name can be a meaningful name of your choice, sensibly named root layout because it will be rendered for every root. Every route. I mean, we could call it route layout. In our app, root layout is an RSC, but layout components can be both RSCs or client components. The page component for the rendered route will be passed into the layout component's children prop. So home will be passed for route / and posts for route posts. Now that we understand how shared layout components work, we can create a shared header. Okay, so we'll create a header component in our app containing links to the home and posts pages. We'll then add header to the route layout to be visible in all routes. Carry out the following steps to do this. So we're going to create a components folder, just as we did in the previous chapter. Make directory src components. And then we're going to touch a file called header.tsx. And we'll open that sucker up right there. Now we'll add this content here, link from next link, and then we'll export. Oh, it's not default, export function. We're not exporting default function. I'm gonna return some JSX here. Return a header, the link href. Home link href is gonna be posts. So we've added links to the home and posts routes. Bring up our app here. Open source app layout. We'll open up the layout page, which has be filled out for us. And we're going to add an import called header. And in the body that is returned from here, we'll have the children underneath the header. So we have the app running already, so we're going to look at the app in the browser. We'll see the header we just added on both the home and the posts page. So if I go back to the home page, we have welcome to my blog, and then I can go to the posts page. We have the home, and then we have the posts page there. That's interesting. That's just automatically given to us just from creating those few little files. That's nifty. We're going to improve the styling of the header links a little. We'll style the active links so that it stands out. We'll use a hook called use path name from Next.js to get the active path to check against the link's path to determine whether it is active. To start with, make the following highlighted changes in header.tsx. At the top, we're going to use client, and we're going to import use path name from Next navigation. Then in the header, the body for the header function, before the return statement, we're going to add a constant name path name. We're going to call use path name. And then now we're going to use the path name variable to set active CSS class on the links conditionally. Inside of each of the link elements, we're going to add a class name. And it's going to be path name if we're slash. So slash if it'll be slash. If the path name is slash, then it's going to be active is going to be the name of the class. Otherwise, it's just going to be blank. It's not going to have a class. Class name. We're going to set this deterministically based on whether or not it's equal to posts. If it is, then we're going to set active. Otherwise, do nothing there. Why is prettier not working here? Oh. Prettier plugin, Tailwind CSS. Wait a minute. I don't know if I have that. What's going on here? Wait, what was that? That's weird. Okay. Let's open up the prettier from the other pages. Maybe from hooks. We're just going to copy this and we're just going to replace it here. We'll save that there. Now it works. I think because it doesn't have the tailwind, it wasn't doing that. All right, yeah, so now it's working. And now everything's changed. That's fine. It's fine. So look, and the active link will be bold. Oh, well, look at that. The active link is bold. So it's automatically there because we had our globals, right? So that was from our globals, I'm pretty sure. We can find in here active. Yes. If a header has the active class, then, or if the link, a link inside of the header is active, has the active class, then we're giving it extra font weight. So that completes our shared header. We can add everything in SRC. We can add prettier setup. And we can say create what do we call this? Create a header. Okay. And let's just learn React with TypeScript on page 188. Here we go. So we have a shared layout, and there's also file conventions or layouts. Okay. I'm not sure I quite understand what's happening here. So, take a look back. Let's take a step back for a second. So layout, we're importing the header, and then children come from somewhere. So the root layout, so it's taking children as a property. When we export header, are we exporting children? Is that what this is? I'm not sure I understand. Yeah, I might have to I'm gonna have to review that. I don't quite understand fully. So we're gonna create dynamic routes next. Let's do that. Hmm. First, we'll try to understand dynamic routes. In Next.js, a dynamic route allows you to create pages that can respond to different URL parameters. So this allows page content to be displayed from varying data in the URL. The dynamic part of the URL is defined in square brackets. An example is our post page at route posts 1 and post 2 and so on, which is posts ID in the dynamic form. In this dynamic route, ID is referred to as the route parameter. So route parameters are passed into the page component in a params prop. For example, an ID parameter could be used in the page prop as follows. Okay, export default async function post params promise d string, and you pass that along, and await params the ID, and return a blog post main element. Okay. A type annotation is used to strongly type the route parameters. Notice that the params prop is asynchronous, which means the component must be declared with the async keyword. If you want to use a route parameter lower in the component tree, Next.js has our use params hook that can be used. So this is only available in client components and not RSCs. Use params has a generic parameter to strongly type the route parameters. Here's an example of an ID parameter being used. So if you use client import, use that. Next. Okay, so now that we understand how to implement them, we'll fully implement them in our blog post route. And we'll do that when we come back. Create a blog post dynamic route. Now we're going to carry out the following steps to make the blog post route dynamic. We're going to also display the blog post title and description in its page component. So we're going to start by renaming the one folder inside this source app posts folder to ID. This makes the route dynamic. Okay, so we're gonna copy src app posts /1, and let's just make sure that we have this one. Okay, we're just gonna rename the folder. I think we have to be careful here, right? Because we have to specify that we want the folder, and then app posts ID / are not specified. I think we move it. There we go. Okay. I think that's right. Okay. So now if we open up the page.tsx inside of ID, we want to do a couple things here. We're going to make this an async function. And inside of the body, we're going to do params, or no, inside of the arguments, we're gonna have params passed in there, destructured or something like that, right? Params promise ID string here. Constant ID. So is that right? Do I have this right? Oh, no. I don't have this right. So we need to put this here. And then this inside of there. With that. Then inside of here we want a const ID, and then we need to use these params in some way. So we're going to await them, and then ID their blog post ID. Save that. Okay. All right. Go back over to our blog post here. See if we can open that up. Go to blog post in the browser. Go to the blog post list. You will see blog posts correctly displaying the ID route parameter. Hopefully it's rendering still. Let's see. Still rendering. Why does it take so long? Why is it taking so long? Okay, so now it says blog post 3 there. Oh, we lost the styling of this though. That's interesting. Oh wait, no, because these things aren't active. We're not actively on these at these links. Interesting. Okay. It's not given that style. Okay, so let's add some validation to ensure the ID route parameter is numeric. If it isn't numeric, we'll inform the user that the page isn't found. Not found from next navigation. Inside the function body, I'm going to specify that we want a number from this. And if it's not a number, is integer. If it's not an integer, run not found. Okay. And we want to display the blog post title and description on the post page. So we go we're still in here, right? All additions. That's weird though. Why they didn't say import not found on there? For posts. And then at the end, before the return statement, we're going to add another constant. We're going to find based on this function. This is another array method, I believe. then if the post isn't found, raise that not found again, and then finally replace the content of the main element with the blog post title and description. I feel like this is feeling way more complicated than it actually is. These are just Jinja templates, like that's all this is. I've worked with those a lot. Okay, React Performance Optimization is the title up the top there in the H2. And then we have paragraph element, techniques and strategies to optimize your React applications for better performance. So if we enter an invalid ID route into the browser's URL, will be displayed with something that doesn't exist. So if I say 15, it should say nothing, not found, right? 404 not found. But if I enter 5, we can get state management in React. We get that post. Okay. All right, and then we're going to take this note on the recap here. Actually, I don't want that, right? We want this and that one. So completes this section on dynamic routes, and here's a quick recap. Next, we'll learn about other type of URL parameters, a search parameter. All right, so we're looking through the list of this array of posts, and we want to return the first post that matches that, right? So this is an array method, returns the value of the first element in the array where the predicate is true and undefined otherwise. Okay, and so this is the predicate here. Post ID equal to number ID. There you go. Okay. Here's our collection of links here. Oh my gosh, too many links. Using search parameters. Okay, let's add this to our Git history here. Let's add all of SRC. That adds 2 posts here. Yeah, deleted that one and then moved the other one. Yes, okay, so create a blog post dynamic route. Was what this was. React with TypeScript page 189. 192. I showed just the current branch. Ah, can't do the tree. First parent. There we go. Oh wait, no, that doesn't do it. Really? Oh. There we go. All right, so this is just what we've done today. Okay, get log no merges is a decent one. That doesn't the kind of just want to pick the current branch, that's all. Okay. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna use search parameters. So that everything's set up. Okay. Using search parameters. Understanding search parameters. So search parameters are part of a URL that comes after the question mark character and separated by the ampersand character. Search parameters are sometimes referred to as query parameters in the following URL type and when are search parameters. In Next.js, search parameters can be accessed via a search params prop as follows. So you have this async function returning this page component, search params going into the arguments here, and you want them of type promise. Key, string, undefined, whatnot. Okay. And then you need to add const params, await search params, params type, and params when. Notice that search params is asynchronous, so accessing it must be awaited and the component must be declared as asynchronous. The type annotation for search params is a little complex, so let's break it down. Key string is a index signature. Yeah, this is very complex here. Oh God, come on, man. What's happening? How come it's saying that was highlighted too? Shouldn't be. Oh, because it's this one. Never mind. That one there. Okay. This is an index signature representing any property name. This is because any search parameter can be added to the URL, even though our components only use type and when. Don't think I understand that. That'll be something we'll have to double back on. There's going to be like a lot of stuff I feel that like as we get deeper into this book that I don't understand, and that's going to be okay. I'm going to pick up I don't have to learn everything right now. I'm going to just try to like get familiar with like the verbiage and see where it's used and kind of try to better understand the bigger picture, and then look at the finer details later. The union that follows the index signature is all the types that search parameters can have. Again, we can't fully control what a user puts in the URL, so this represents what could happen. And then the type, can't see it all here. The type is wrapped in a promise, in the promise type, because search params is asynchronous. Okay. If you want to use a search parameter lower in the component tree, Next.js has a search params, use search params hook that can be used. This is only available in client components and not RSCs. Here's an example of type and when parameters can be when parameters being accessed. Right. Okay. It's a little different to use params for root parameters. It returns a standard JavaScript URL. Search parameters interface provides functions to access search parameters. A get function on the interface allows access to a particular search parameter value. Okay. Adding search functionality to the app. We'll add a search input to the header of the app. Submitting a search will take the user to the posts page with a filtered set of blog posts matching the search criteria. So back in the header, at the top, we're going to import the form. From next form. Then in the JSX, we're going to return. So underneath the link the link elements here, the link components here. We're going to add a form component, taking the action. It has an attribute named action, and we're referring to posts. And then we're going to give an input element, type of search. Name is going to be criteria. Placeholder text is going to say search. And then the ARIA label is going to be search blog posts. All right, there we go. Okay, form is a Next.js component that extends the native HTML form element and allows the form to be submitted without a full page reload. And we can see it rendered pretty fast here in the top part here. And we'll explore this even further when I come back. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, now where are we here? We added the form. We can see that form up here. We're on step number 2 or 1. So the action attribute on form will cause a navigation to the post's route. The navigation will include a criteria search parameter with the value from the criteria input. Okay, so we go to app in the browser, we enter some criteria in the search input in the header and press enter. So let's see, does this actually work? Nothing's gonna happen though, right? So if we go, question mark, some criteria or something. Let's say React. Oh, into here. So right now it's just returning everything, I guess. The list isn't filtered yet, so back into page for posts. In the parameters, in the arguments here for posts function. Oh, I'm confused here. Function posts. Oh, this page, not the other one. Not okay. Here we go. We're gonna pass in search params. The type is going to be an object with a search params property that is a promise, string or undefined. Okay, and everything else stays the same. We haven't used search params yet, so inside of this. So we've destructured like criteria search parameter to make referencing it in the following steps a little simpler. Okay, so in the body here, before the return statement, we're going to add criteria await search params. Criteria. Okay. Oh, we have to make this async. Did they say to do that up here? They did. Okay. I just missed it. Const resolved posts is equal to type of criteria. So it's going to be returning the type based on this ternary string here. If it's a string, then we're going to filter the posts title to lowercase, and if it includes the criteria to lowercase. Okay. Okay, this is getting pretty hairy here. We want it to return posts. Okay. Underneath resolved posts, we're going to have a resolved heading. Type of criteria, again, checking whether or not it's a string. Then otherwise, we're just going to return all posts. That's what that was in the previous one. Okay. Oh, we got to wrap this in template backticks there. And we're going to return posts. Just the string posts. Okay. Now finally we can use these variables in the JSX. Oh, okay. In the main section, about H2 header, where we place the resolved heading right above the list element, the unordered list here, and then we have resolved posts is what is going in to replace the posts list. And then we're going to use the map array method on that to display them. Okay. Posts for efficient. I think it's maybe only in the title. So we can see React. We get all things in there. We can find server stuff, server components. Component. Client, is there client? There's no client stuff. Okay. What other keywords have we kind of looked at here? Oh no. Okay, so that's pretty cool. We do a search, the blog post list is filtered. Server components. And so that completes the app. We're going to stop the app from running using Control-C in the terminal, and this completes the section on search parameters. And to recap, search parameters in Next.js are accessed through a search params prop or the use search params hook. For more information on search parameters, see the following page in Next.js. Okay, well that is quite a lot of stuff there. Not sure I quite understand everything. Got pretty complex there for a while. We'll say adding search, add search is what we'll do. So we'll add everything to our Git history here. And we'll finish up the chapter here. Page 198 of Learn React with TypeScript. Okay. And then next week we will look at part 3, which will be data. We hope that we can kind of work through this stuff. Working with data. I wonder if I should put it aside and then work on some other stuff before tackling part 3. Or if I should just soldier on. I'm not sure. I don't know what I want to do with that. Okay, now if I... No, okay. We're gonna take a lunch and come back to this, I think. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a long lunch and then I'll be back after that. That's what I'll do. What's going on with the what's happening with the pomodoros? I have no idea. I think this day has just gotten completely messed up, so I think I'm gonna stop the pomodoros. Yeah, okay. We'll stop the pomodoros. Okay. What do we want to do? We want to finish up. We want to just finish up here. And call it a day. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, what does Next.js give us? It gives us a comprehensive set of features to create multi-page apps, and so I'm just going to highlight that. So it gives a comprehensive set of features to create multi-page apps. Different routes are defined using folders in a special page.tsx file. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this. Just how easy it is to set up different pages in app and then posts. So we had the home page from here, and then we had a page for posts, and then we had pages for individual posts. And yeah, that's how we ended up doing that. How did we end up referring to? I don't know why ID is in brackets again. I've really it just wasn't a very good learning day. I'm just not quite with it. Dynamic routes are defined using square brackets containing the route parameters. So there we go. Okay, that's why just a syntax, I guess, the way that Next.js compiles everything and sets everything up. Create a static route for blog post list and dynamic route for each blog post. A shared layout component is defined in layout.tsx in the relevant folder, and we use the root layout to share a header component. And the link component is the recommended way of navigating in Next.js and can be used in RSCs as well as client components. We use this in the blog post list as well as the app header. The use router hook allows programmatic navigation in client components. Route and search parameters can be accessed via params and search params props respectively. And they can be accessed in client components via use params and use search params hooks. We used an ID route parameter in the blog post dynamic route, and we also used a criteria search parameter in the blog post list route. The knowledge you have learned in this chapter has given you the skills to write apps with multiple pages. And in the next chapter, you will enhance the app we created in the chapter to use data from a database, and as we learn how React can interact with server data. Okay, answering these questions, we've got the following questions to check what we've learned in the chapter. In the Next.js app router, what file defines a route segment's layout that persists across multiple pages? The layout.tsx, right? Yeah, layout.tsx. Okay. When navigating to the home URL in a Next.js app, a 404 error message is returned. Here's the contents of the SRC app folder, app, globals, layout, page, and home. What could be the problem? The home URL, well, it doesn't exist for one, I think because you don't have a folder with the name home with a page.tsx, right? So let's see, the home path will render app home page tsx file, not app home tsx. All right, and so Can a Next.js link component be used in an RSC? We saw that it can. In Next.js, a header component needs to be placed on every page. What approach would you recommend? So a header component needs to be placed on every page. How did we do that? We imported from somewhere, right? So we had page, make posts. How did we do that? Was it with the layout? I think it was the layout, right? Import header components. Header. Oh, so we did it by creating components and importing the components. Okay. So a header can be added to the root layout as follows, as inserting it into the JSX returned from the root layout. So we did that in our layout file and put it into our root layout. Okay. Then what's the problem with this code here or this file structure? When navigating to the customer's 10 URL in a Next.js app, a 404 message is returned. Here's the contents of the SRC app customers folder. So the ID folder is not in square brackets. You use the square brackets to form a dynamic route. Okay. Okay, and then yeah, so next week we'll cover data, I think, in here in React. Do I want to cover it in this, or I'm not sure. I feel like it's a good time to like maybe work on some small projects. I might maybe I put this aside for a little bit. Server component data fetching, client component data fetching, mutations in Tan stack, working with forms. I do want to keep this stuff fresh in my mind, but I also just really feel like maybe I'm running too far ahead here. What else do we have? We have state management, reusable components, and unit testing to get to. So maybe that's what we do. I'm not sure. Take a look at the table of contents, though. I want to see what page how many pages these all are. There's chapters 7, 8, and 9. We have 10, 11, and 12, right? So we have... Okay. Yeah, advanced React. So I think maybe what we do is we set aside part 4 for the future. And what we can do is we just focus on up to part 2. Part 3. Do we want to do part 3 next week? Work with data. And then that's kind of going to bleed into the next week as well. Working with forms. So how many pages is this again? So we have 201 all the way up to 263. Yeah, I guess maybe that's what we do. We can do part 3 next week. Let's see, because I do have review of colors. We can do chapter 7, we can do chapter 8, then we can work with forms. Do 7 and 8, and then work with forms on the next week, and then switch to something else. Maybe just do a complete review of what we've learned on day 16, day 15, day 16. Okay. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll do, let's see, got like the orange book, I think is what we were using, and we'll use chapter 7, I think. Server component data fetching and server function mutations. And then I think we should probably double back on JavaScript fundamentals. Not sure. Okay. We have next Tuesday. It's gonna be that. Then okay. Be done with that. Set up for next week. I think I'm already like all set up for that, so I'm gonna just do that. Yeah. What I'd like to do is to create I could turn this into like creating a web page for this stuff. Creating a podcast, blog for this here. See how far we can get with doing that. Yeah, maybe that's what we could do. Oh gosh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I think we've done about 4 hours. Started at 10. Got through this chapter. I'm just not feeling it, you know? And I can't, like, if I try to force anything, it's just not gonna really work. We might be a little bit shy of the 4 hours. But we make up for it in other days. Okay, and then, okay, on the 13th, okay, so this one we want to call this server component data fetching. Data fetching with React server components, I think we could say. That'll be day 12. Yeah, I think well, that's probably what we'll end up doing. Let me get a calendar up on here. So I'm going to close out of this thing here. Close down our app. We'll exit out of that, and exit out of our WSL. Can stop the Podman machine, and just as a way to recoup some resources, I could do WSL shutdown, and that will shut down the basic WSL, all of that, all those allocated resources and stuff. Gosh, I'm just not with it today. We have this create app thing. We can close that down. I'm going to add all of these to the notes for today. The links that we made for these dynamic routes. Link component, just like a lot of API references. We can't searching, it doesn't allow us to search through here, right? Right, because they're probably using their stuff. But if I search, wait a minute. Let me close this down. I don't know how you search. Layouts and pages. That's what we were looking at. Okay. So that's the main things. Okay. Let's merge our changes. Switch over to the main branch. Hit merge, squash. Day 10. And then git status will show all the things that are different. I guess at git commit. You can wait for the editor. We could say, oh wait, finish day 10. Oops. Escape WQ with the colon in front. Sit there. Oh, we need to push our changes. Push origin main. That's our changes there. We can take a look at our log for log. Finish day 10, finish day 9, finish day 7, finish day 6. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Okay. What changed in blog though? Next environment variables though? Why wasn't that added? This is a derivative file. The D. Would that be in a gignor? Next env DTS should be ignored. Somehow it's not. Untracked changes. I don't understand that part. See, we got some updated rough. This finish day 9 doesn't have a thing there. What are all these things? Where did all those come from? And why are they there? Node modules. This shouldn't be. None of these should be highlighted. Package. The package lock? I don't understand why this is happening. Let's refresh. Okay, there it goes. Maybe start extensions then. Okay, so next week we'll have that. Yeah, I'll work on this off screen. Yeah, so okay. So that was the rest of this week. It was a pretty packed week here. Yeah, we covered quite a lot here this week. What did we look at? We did absolute and relative units on Monday. That was for day 7, and learned about M's and Rems, and CSS pseudo classes on day 8. That was on Tuesday. We learned a lot about that, and we started putting those to use. Got a bit of practice with those. Using React server components, we explored some of those. Created an app using that, and we also worked on client components. Although that was also on day whatchamacallit. That was also done on Thursday. And then today we did some multi-page apps. So quite a lot of new stuff. Yeah, so it was a bit heavy of a week. And I'm trying to think of like a better way to structure this so that I'm not kind of overloaded. And I'm able to, make sense of everything. Yeah, so we couldn't learn it all today. We couldn't learn it all this week. But we've done 10 days so far, and we've learned quite a lot. So excited to see what we might be able to learn after 90 days. And I hope that you do a similar thing and find out what you can learn by putting a little bit of effort in every single day, or just a regular intervals of time, and watch that time build up to and then look back and see just how much you've learned. So yeah, that's it for this week. We'll come back on Monday or Tuesday. Have a great 3-day weekend, and we'll come back and do colors in CSS. Yeah, we'll have another good week next week. Ta-ta for now. Hope you all have a great weekend.